Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is the third or maybe the fourth time I do a streaming. It's the 14th March, and today I will speak about the Colorize mask. And I hope everyone can listen to my voice. The microphone is okay, and you can see probably my face. There is on the screen a little chat, and you can probably type in it if you can see me, so I can see also the delay between the picture and how you receive it. And so today we will focus a short streaming. I know I say always it will be a short one and it takes 1 hour or two, but yeah, I have a lot of work on the next Pepper and Carrot episode because I'm doing like a rewriting. So I will try to make it less than 1 hour or 1 hour and a bit more. Hi. So I wanted to ask if you are familiar with the Colorize mask. It's a feature that is a new feature in Krita 4.0. So it's not a version of Krita released yet. It's still a beta version. You can't find it if you go to the Krita website, but because Krita 4.0 will be released really soon, it's a feature you will get in like 10 days, or if you download the native build, or if you build the code, or there is many ways to beta test Krita. And for all of this, you can go on the website krita.org, and there is everything you need. I'm reading at the same time the chat. So today I'm proposing to show you how I use the Colorize mask, this feature, because I experimented it last week on 2 artwork, and I learned already how to use it, but also little tips, and I want to show this to you. So first, I want to say a big thanks to Voltira and Scott from the Krita development team, because they made a very good page on krita.org. It's docskrita.org/Colorize mask with a lot of information. So if you miss something, I will tell, or if you need more detail, you can go to this page. It's fully illustrated. It's a very, very good documentation. And a big thanks to them, because this is really cool to start a new feature and to get all this documentation. So what I will show today, I prepared some example, and I will just go through the process of this illustration. Let me enlarge it a bit. So it's an illustration I did on paper. You can see it, some photo I made during the Inktober period, and it's a small artwork I made with ball pen. This is the blue version. And then I made a scan of it. So this is a high resolution scan, and this is what we will start with. And I'm just showing the next step to show you what we will do today. I will colorize it with flat color and with the Colorize mask feature. And then I will show you how to clean the flat color into this part. All the part about ambient, shading, and a bit of paint over will be probably for next time. So I will quickly check the chat. I love your French accent. Thank you. I personally hate my accent, but I have to compose with it. Yeah, Scott here, who did a part of the documentation. I saw the history. Maybe it's a correction pass more than all the documentation. Yes, Volterra did most of it. It's a very good work. Oh, I see you're using virtual desktop. Ah, yes, I'm using this on GNOME a bit. I try. Your pronunciation of ball pen sounds just like us. So let's start with first how to clean a scan. So this is a tutorial you can find on my website about cleaning a scanner, but here I have a scanner with a paper texture. You can see it if I zoom it, maybe. You see all this variation of gray. This is not what we want. We want to have all white here. We want for sure to have all the variation into these lines to be more dark. And we also want to get rid of all the blue line. This is my perspective grid and everything I draw on paper. So the first thing I will do is to duplicate my artwork. So I duplicate my layer. I have it twice. And I go to filter, go to adjust, and I call the color adjustment curve. And what I do is I will go to green and remove all the green, and we'll go to red and remove all the red. And this will make only the blue channel remaining, and all my work will be like filled with blue. And if you look at it, you will see that all is filled with blue, but it fills also all my guideline, all the sketch line made with blue pencil. So after I do that, I press OK. And I don't want to keep just a blue picture, so I go to filter, adjust, and desaturate here. And this will desaturate the picture, so it removes the blue and replace it by a gray. But I go to max because I want to get the max lightness, so the luminosity of the drawing. I press OK, and only doing this, if I just flip the layer, you see that I removed the blue here under the dress, for example. I removed it. So not perfect, there is still a bit, but that's not a problem. The next step, I keep duplicating. I duplicate just to show you after to switch the layer visibility so you can see it. And I will also call another time the color adjustment. You saw it by the menu. Filter, adjust, color adjustment here. But I'm pressing the Control M key, I think it's it. Yes, I do it on keyboard, so I even don't see my finger, so it's a bit hard to know. And I switch the channel to lightness here, and I will remove here. It's all the white, the gray. So I'm removing a bit here, just to get something more white. I still have some gray here. Up. Like that. So now all the paper is white. And I want a bit more blackness into this line. So what I will do is just reduce a bit the curve to just cross the center here. Yeah, that's good. I'm pressing OK. And now I can compare before with the texture of the paper and after. So it's not a long process. I listen a lot of artists writing online that cleaning artwork after scan is a big process and everything. It's not really big. It took me less than 10 minutes, and because I'm speaking a lot at the same time, if I do it only with shortcut, it's even faster. So I'm flattening my stack because I don't need all this layer. And the next step before doing the Colorize, I saw that the Colorize mask with all this detail in the line, all this noise doesn't work really well. But it was the same with also some of the filter of gimmick. And if I want to improve a bit this line art and get rid of all this little noise and all these little things, maybe this part is what is hard to clean. And I have a filter. It's a gimmick filter I really like to clean my artwork. It cleans really good ball pen artwork, but also pencil artwork. So I'm going to filter, start gimmick. I have the gimmick windows. I will just enlarge it a bit so you can see what I'm doing. I have my setting here in my favorite, but I will go to testing. I will try to find it back. It's in Photocomics, and it's the Photocomics smoothing. And you can see it on the preview. It smooths all the line like this. So if you have noise here, it will smooth the line very well. The default setting is a bit extreme. I will switch back to 100%. So I just put the sharpness. I want it more sharp, to 20, sometimes 24, yes. And with a right click, I can compare before, after, and see all this little noise being removed. So you see here, I have like a line, a gray line of construction, and it gets removed. And all of this will help the colorization. And also, I like the style. It's a bit more smooth. I don't really like the noise of my artwork. I tried to work with it during a long time, but can't deal with it. So I'm applying the photocomic smoothing, and during the computation time, I will look at the chat. Whoa, a lot. Hello people, hello Crimson. Thanks for coming back after 1 week. Hey Esther, nice to see you back also. Hi. I can't spell this because I don't have the knowledge of Cyrillic. Sorry, but I recognize also. I'm finally useful for someone. You are always useful, gimmick. So now we have the artwork totally clean. As you can see, I have the before and after. And yes, you can see this little dot, for example, at the end of the line, getting smoothed. It's perfect in my opinion. I really like this filter. I will do a quick save as Krita file, because I don't want to redo all this process in case of a live crash. It doesn't happen, but you know, because recording live it's always like that. And we will trigger the Colorize mask. So before doing that, I will rename the layer. Top one will be ink or line, maybe line art. It's easier. And on the bottom, this version I don't need anymore. I will just fill it with white. I press Shift and Backspace to fill with the foreground color, just a shortcut on the keyboard. And I will rename it background, because it's always safe to keep a white background behind your lines or everything. I will just turn the visibility off, and I want my line to not have white and black, but being transparent and black, just because it's easier for the management later. So I'm going to color and color to alpha on the filter. And by default, the filter remove all the white. And the threshold is a bit too high in my taste. So I have one at a preset at 90%. I think it does a better work at keeping some light gray at 90%. So I keep it at 90. And switching back the background again. So now I have my line art with a transparent background like that and a background made of white. This is the artwork totally cleaned. At this step, I can start to work with the feature Colorize mask. So I will probably put a bit of focus on my tablet and keyboard. because looking at my face, it's probably a bit repetitive and doesn't tell you a lot of things about it. So up, moving a bit the keyboard so you can see shortcut maybe. Webcam. Yes, a part on the keyboard, a part on the tablet. So I'm not really using this. Sorry, I had to dust. There is a lot of hair of cat everywhere. I'm not really looking at, into this tablet. I'm looking at the screen I have in front of me, which has exactly the same picture. I'm using the Cintiq a bit as a traditional tablet. So what I saw with the Colorize mask, if you want to start to make the Colorize mask at first, you have to click on the line art and right click on it and press add and Colorize mask. So it's really easy. And once you have your Colorize mask activated, it will be just parented to your line art. You see there is this little line that says this layer belongs to the line art. And you can even collapse it. And once you have this Colorize mask, you will keep it selected and you can pick a tool. So I will just show the toolbar, but you can take the brush tool and you can pick a tool. I will show you. I like to take this one. It's a pixel art brush. I prefer using it because I can draw and it makes pure color like this without aliasing on the border. I think it really eases the colorization. You will see why. And you can start to add some marker on your artwork. So for example, on this cat, I want this type of color. So I'm just showing, it can be little cross or dot or little stroke. It depends how you prefer it. And I will put a little bit on the collar and maybe a bit of yellow here. And just to be quick, I will put some blue all around after. And when you have all the marker painted on the canvas, you just have to press here the little refresh icon. So it's a bit tricky, it's on the border of the screen with the tablet, but if you press it, the Colorize mask will transform into a loading bar here. And then you only have to wait. Doom, 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 doom. Wait, wait, wait. And boom. Colorize mask will show you the result of what the filter understood about your marker. And you will see that it turned the canvas into a visualization mode. So it's a visualization mode, so you can see your stroke. You can see where the color will be filled. And your lines are a bit blurry, so you can see better the sharpness of your stroke. And if you want to see the result, you only have to click on this little, I think it's on the little pen. Yes, like that. And you can see the result of the colorization. So this part is wrong here. So if I need to edit it again, what I can do is just to press my control and click on the marker. I have a color history here, so I can pick that also. I do another marker here, and I repress the computation process. So you don't have, once you work with that, in my experience, you don't have to refresh a lot like I do, because you usually paint a lot of elements and do a lot. And for example, you start to paint a stain like that, and you just draw like that, really quick and lazy. And for example, this like that, and this like that, and then when all is done like that, you just need to press it once, and then you do it twice or third time just to do some correction. But it's not like doing one stroke and computing it all the time. So I will show you, because I made a screenshot once I did this artwork. My map was like that, my final map. So you can see that I'm doing little stroke like that, like that. It's logical. I just try to show the center of the shape to make big stroke. So one of the advantage of using this filter over, for example, a solution like all the filter with Gimmick I was using a lot previously, and I still love them, is you can save your artwork at this step. So you don't have to complete everything like in a filter and apply. You can save it halfway, and you can recover your Krita file later and continue and continue. You can even press it like that and keep using only this and shade on the top. So you still have some flexibility later. And something else I want to show you is you have here a new tool in the toolbar. Ta-dam! And it's the Colorize mask editing tool. So this tool is also very good to, I will put back in edit mode. This tool is also good to draw some line like this, some marker, as the brush would do, but when you select it, you have another panel. So it's in the toolbar for me, but this is the tool option panel. You usually have it as a Docker on Krita. And if you have this tool selected, you will get more option on the tool option Docker. So the gap close, so it's something for if you have some hole into a line, how much it will close the gap. Some cleanup also to make it better line or better connection, and your actual color. So the color you use it. So if you have the tool option Docker as a floating Docker, this is good also to get some history of color you already used to use them later. One of the features I really like is you can set up, for example, a color here. This one. Oops, picking the wrong panel. This one to be transparent. And let's say that, I don't know if this one or this one, because I used a lot of different marker, I wasn't really clean. But if you reload it, it will put all this color as a transparent color. So if you have only a character and some background and you don't want to get filled with a color, you can still get a transparent color. Yeah, so it was this stroke. So Krita understood that this part and everything around will be transparent. I'm not the best demo maker. But once you have your Colorize mask done, I will not fill all the picture because it will take a lot of work. Once you have this Colorize mask done, you can right click on it and convert to a paint layer. And it will just convert all your mask into something you can keep painting on it. For example, taking a brush and manually completing it, or fixing if you have something to fix, like a little bit of the tail here, and so on. So that's how you use the Colorize mask. It's really easy to use in Krita, as you can see. But now I will do a second part, a bit about cleaning, because as you will see, it's not always perfect. That's what I wanted to show you. Sorry. I was looking for this Windows here. So this was the result I get with the Colorize mask. And as you can see, for example, the hair of the lady here wasn't filled, part of the hat too. I had some little problem, like the cross hatching here, or I don't know, maybe here, some part in the rubbish things were not filled correctly. And also, it's really hard to pick a good color. So you have to replace the color and also do a lot of little manual tweaking, but it's not a lot. As you can see on this artwork, a lot is already done. So this is the result I had after the cleaning. And this is what I will show you now, all the tool to make the cleaning. So I will open this file. I name it Dirty Mask. And it was a file I saved just after I flattened the Colorize mask. Maybe I can show something else, because this is another test I made. Loading. Okay. And on this test, I saved with my Colorize mask already. So when you save an artwork with a Colorize mask, oh, I put recompute, but I could just show the content of the layer. So it will take a while, because this is a pretty big artwork, and when you have a lot of little stroke, it takes usually a little bit, but I will take advantage of this computation to just look at the chat, because I see it scrolling, but I'm focusing on this part of the screen and speaking at the same time. So oh, a lot. I selected one as a marker. That's a good tip. Your cats must love your desk. They do. I have always my assistant cat. You can see it. I know it's a obligatory time of this live stream, just to show always my assistant here. Oh, putting it back here. Linux Mint system? No, it's Ubuntu 17.0.10. Yes, thank you, very okay for replying. This GNOME desktop, right? Yes, because GNOME desktop has more bug fix for doing this type of live stream with 3 screen. I'm using 3 screen and an NVIDIA card. So yes, I'm really dependent of a good manager for displaying the windows. I'm not really fond of the ergonomic of the GNOME desktop, but it works. It doesn't bug, it doesn't crash. And even if the ergonomy is not my thing, I prefer something with fixed bug and which is working for my use, because it's a very complex use case. If you have a laptop, maybe every type of desktop environment can work. But for my usage right now, there is only GNOME. I can make this type of streaming and recording screen at the same time and everything. Wacom dominate the market, yes, and for a good reason, because they made quality and they flooded the market and with heavy marketing during a lot of time, and the concurrent also makes some craps during a long time, so it helps. But right now Yuan is getting better and better, but they still don't do enough work on the Linux driver. Sorry, drinking a bit. Because they have most of the patents. It was true during a time, but the patent on the stylus with the electromagnetic not putting a battery in it, I think it expired, this one. I'm not sure, I'm not a patent geek, but I think it's now something everyone can use. Not sure about it. David Roy. So that's pretty much a mix of SCI masking and Photoshop quick mask feature. I left Photoshop at the CS2 version in 2009, I think, so maybe 10 years ago. And I never painted with SCI brush, SCI tool, because I'm on Linux since 10 years. So I'm not familiar with this feature. I don't know if they compare or everything. Could you please upload your Krita tutorial and art tutorial on Silkshare also? Thanks. I'm not familiar with Silkshare platform. I will have a look at it. Thank you for pointing it. Quick question. What are you using to stream record? OBS. Yes. So I don't know if showing my OBS will crash the recording, but I will test. It's on another screen. So this is OBS. Wow, that's psychedelic. Oh, bringing it back. Yes, and it works really well. Looks like OBS, yes. Hey, Yalin. When I started using Gimmick Colorize tool on my webcomic, it cuts down at least 1-2 hours. It really helps. Gimmick, many thanks. Yes, and me too. For many Pepper and Carrot episodes I use it. And this one, I will use it because it's more ergonomic. You have it under right under the line art. You can save it. It's just more convenient. But it does exactly the same thing. Yeah, so you can see on this one, pretty everything is fixed. I have this to paint. I have probably between the leg of Carrot here, but all is surprisingly already good. So I think, still a lot of questions. Would you be interested by auto clean filter for scanned sketch with blue lines? Yes, and at the same time, I'm not sure because sometimes there is no blue line, sometimes there is only auto clean of little things. So I'm not sure if all the steps I do are just relative to my style of drawing on paper, or if it's something general that need a filter, for example. So I don't want to make you lose time to make this, because I have already like 3 filters in a row to clean the line art, and it's not complicated. I like to keep them a bit modular, maybe. Thank you, Rico, and I'm really flattered by Master Revoy. When Krita 4 will be stable, will be released, because stable at 100%, I'm not sure it will reach it, because there is still a lot of bug, but there is like priority on bug. So the release will happen at the end of the month, I think, like in 10 days. Do you use a stabilizer on your brush in Krita? When I do some drawing or so on line art, yes, I have a setting. If I press stabilizer, right now it's a very short distance, like 20, and not relative to the zoom. It's a very short one. But for doing just painting, I'm switching back to basic. It's the basic smoothing. So let's continue. So the first thing you want to do for cleaning an artwork is replacing a color. For example, I don't like the color of the trash bin here, and I want just to replace it with another color. So I press the F key on the keyboard, and it switched to the fill tool, and I will go to my tool option. I put mine at 1 threshold and not in fast mode, because I think it does a better work just to replace the pure color. And then I will just select the color and do my offset and fill with it. So this is really basic, and this is probably what you wanted to do. And one of my little tips on this to replace a color is to use the fill tool, but with a low opacity. I thought it's good just to say, oh, this color doesn't have enough yellow, for example, and just pick quickly a yellow. Or if you have a palette, as I do here, just pick a yellow and just click a bit on it, and then you will offset the green by 30% to the yellow. And this is really quick to make the color DJ. So for example, the floor is not enough dark. Just pick a dark color and click on it. The cat is not enough white, just a bit of white on it, etc., etc. The banana is not yellow enough, just a little bit. And at 30% or sometimes a bit more, you can fill like this area and just adjust, because you don't need just to replace every color with your perfect color. If you have a perfect color, maybe it's better to use it directly when you do the Colorize mask, but here I prefer to adjust. I'm adjusting this, that, the brick here is not enough orange, so I can adjust. The cat is a bit desaturated, etc., etc. For fixing the line, if you remove the ink, you'll see that the Colorize mask does a pure color area. So there is no aliasing. It's only the pure color at a pixel size. But the line, if you reduce your ink, the limit between the two colors is falling just at the center. Sorry, just at the center between your line. So you have the thickness of your line here. I put it at low opacity, and you can see the color is right under. So one thing I like to keep doing is selecting just a pixel art tool. In the next Krita, you will get a pixel art category here on the brush preset with this tool. And with the brush, just keep filling with, I'm on the wrong layer, sorry. Keep filling the area. So I'm usually just jump between the B tool, so the brush on the keyboard, the B key, and the F key to replace a color. And also I press Ctrl to pick the color, this one or this one. And so I can do some detail, like the green leg here. If it's too large, I can switch directly to F and fill the center. And for this artwork, I think it took me like 20 minutes to clean up all the artwork. It's not a big work. And when it's done, because I don't want this effect, this aliasing effect, what I do is just I press the color layer and I go to blur, and I add a slight little Gaussian blur. So I have even preset 2 pixel anti-alias island, and you'll see that it's just a Gaussian blur of 2 pixels, and it smooths this limit between under my line art. So this makes a good rendering everywhere. If I press Ctrl Z, you'll see that if you zoom, it doesn't look really good, but this is flexible to replace color, to edit the color. And so when I'm done, I am a bit destructive because I'm adding this blur effect, but this little blur effect also add a nice little finishing to the piece. And that's how I obtain a mask fixed version. For example, this version, this was the one with all the fixed everything. Maybe if I, yes, it's fixed, but it's not blurry yet. One step I found really useful, it's just a simple tip, is when you have all your color, just add a layer. So this is a layer with a single color on it. And I put on it the hard light blending mode. It's a blending mode you can find on Lighten, here, hard light. I selected it to make it part of my favorite. And this layer will do a good job at making a control of the ambient. So I will just redo it from the scratch. You have all your color island here, and you create an empty layer. You pick a color for the ambient of the artwork. So for example, I want something warm, like orange. I'm filling with the background color, with the foreground color, the layer. It's in Edit, Fill with Foreground Color here. I'm using the shortcut Shift Backspace all the time. That's why. But I want to show you also the menu. I switch to Hard Light. And then it will offset all your colors to get a sort of ambient. So if you want the scene to be more cold or the color to be more warm, you can do it from here. You can reduce the opacity and compare a bit before, after. It's a good tip to, when you have a palette with, for example, here in the garbage, a lot of color that are very different and they don't really mix well together. Having a sort of layer like that will filter all the color and reduce them into a limited palette will help. And if you want to adjust more, you can always press Ctrl U and have the HSV saturation adjustment and everything. So you can reduce saturation, put more saturation, and control the ambient if you want to play with a particular setting. For example, something a bit more cold like this. That could be a really good palette. When you have a palette like that, and as you can see, all the color will be in the same color space. So all around this part. So it's good to make a little focus point, maybe with the opposite color. So the color of the palette is here. You take the opposite and you take a bright one and just painting, for example, the color or something. It's a little kick in the color palette that will attract directly the eyes to this part, or maybe a bit for the chicken, because we want the eyes to maybe to ping pong between this part and this part. These are little tips to make some better coloring. So that's how I make the flat color. I have the webcam hiding my clock on the top of my screen. So it's almost 1 hour. Next the next week, I will still work with analogic for my webcomic for Paper and Carrot, and I don't have a good webcam to show you how to draw on paper right now. It's something I will purchase soon. But next week I will show you this step. So I'm not saving this. And next week it will be about the shading. And this is a big chapter. It's I will not take this one, sorry. I will take the final file. Yep. I just show you for the teasing what will be about next week. So next week I will remove all the layer on top. Maybe not ink and the frame. And I will show you how to shade the artwork. So when you have your flat color under your line, what to do to have your first base of shading, and then the other paths necessary to control your shading as you want. So I will look at the chat now and reply to your question. And if you have questions, do not hesitate to type them now. I will reply. I will even maybe demo a bit, and then we will get done. So the stabilizer question is done. We need more cat emotes. I do agree. There is only 4 emoticon of cat. It's not enough, and also they have only orange cat. They don't have all the shade of cat. It maybe was asked already, but did David add a new tutorial on how to add shadow after flat coloring? Not a lot. I made on my website, if you go to the making of, you can see many making of where I go from the flat coloring to the shading, but I have to admit that before I was just shading without adding all these paths, just directly over the color. So it's really recently that I'm trying to use the layer for shading and for adding texture, paint over, contrast, and everything. So this is something that will come next week. How to add flow bar on the toolbar. I just can switch opacity since with flow. Okay, so the toolbar here has 2, normally I think it's 2 only, size and opacity. And yes, you can, with the little arrow here, switch between, I want here, for example, I want here to use flow and here to use opacity or something. And I have 3 on the top, which is, I think, really convenient because it's good to have both opacity and flow. And for this, you need to add a new item on the toolbar. So you need to go to Setting, configure the toolbar. And at first, Krita will show you what they call the main toolbar. And the main toolbar is the new open, save, undo, redo, a part that I even don't have. So it's in the brush and stuff. And so once you switch it here to brush and stuff, you have here a representation on this list of all the widgets that are horizontally here. So it's vertically here for horizontally here. And if you see, I have, for example, brush composite. And brush composite, it's the blending mode. It's this box, normal, eraser, lock alpha, and reload the preset. This is all brush composite, and then brush option slider 1, brush option slider 2, and brush option slider 3. So by default, you don't have if I apply, you don't have the brush slider 3. So you have to find the slider, brush option slider, put it here on the list, apply. So it will be on this side. And then, with the little arrow, put it next to the other slider. It's a bit complex, but it's totally worth it. And then you can press OK. And maybe when you will put the slider number 3, it will be another opacity. So you will have to switch it to flow, to the setup you prefer. So this toolbar is totally configurable. As you can see, I have another button here to switch to the previous preset, and one here to mirror the view. So I can look on the other side. A French question. I will try to translate it. Is there a tool more practical for drawing than the other? I don't know if it's if you are talking about a digital tool or a practical tool, a tool on traditional tool like a ball pen or pencil or everything. But about digital, there is certainly a software better than one another. from a perspective that you can scientifically see and say, yeah, this one has better performance, better feature, and everything. But maybe the best tool is the one you master. So for in my case, it's Krita, and I'm really happy about it. And on the tool on paper, it's a bit the same. It's totally the same. If you are really good with a ball pen, you will be better with a ball pen than a lot of artists with, I don't know, pencil, for example, or everything. When it comes to skill that you have to develop as a human, you will get a very unique skill that is yours, and the tool will be just an extension of this. It's not the main thing. Sorry for the half answer. It's always hard to make answer about is there something better than this or this. Do you sometimes adjust your pen pressure curve while drawing? I do this a lot, and Krita 3 doesn't really like it. I hope it's better in Krita 4. I do it when I switch a tablet. For example, this tablet, I keep the default. So when I go to setting, configure Krita, the tablet setting, there is here the general curve. It's the global curve for every preset, for everything. So if you put it like that, it will be very hard. Hard about the feeling sensation. So you have to press a lot on the stylus to get, for example, you will have to press half to get only a quarter of the effect. And when you will press almost completely, you will have only 75% of the effect here. So this is a hard curve, and I have a very old tablet that require me to, when I switch to this old tablet, to put this curve like that. I have another tablet that doesn't really register all the eye pressure, so I have to put it like that. So it really depends the tablet I'm using. But for this one, I get used to the default because doing all the presets, I prefer to keep mine on the default. Oh, it was, oops, the list refresh sometime. Oh, it was really about a question about brush and pencil, about the previous question. Oh, thank you for the comment about the streaming. Hello, David. Do you freehand everything, or do you use the line, polygon, tool? I'm freehanding everything except all the mechanical stuff. If I have a wheel, for example, to draw, if I have a perspective line, if I have a shape, I tend to use the line tool. You can compare. So thank you very much, and thank you for assisting to this streaming. I hope you will like the future theme of the next one. If you have an idea for a future live streaming subject or theme, do not hesitate. You can comment about it, and this video will be available during the next week and in 3 or 4 days after YouTube process it. Because there is some recording with YouTube, and you will find the link to this video in the description of the live. If you look at the description of the live streaming, you will see all the previous also video. So thank you for your time, and see you next time. Bye bye.